You already said after 2 breakup albums you thought it was time for something else.
Yeah, yeah.
How much of a concept record is this record?
Very much so. I think I've only really done those because I don't know how to not do a concept album. The way that I work, the way that I write, it's the same way that I did it when I was in graduate school. Was that I need a project, I need a theme, you know, and that's what drives my brain and my heart to come up with ideas or notice things. You know, I can't just. I have friends that are very good and they can sit down and be like, I'm going to write a song about, you know, someone taking a long journey or something like that. And they'll write this amazing song. I could never do that. So, yeah, this one is completely themed around psychotherapy and mental illness and all that stuff.
Aren't there songs that like escape from that framework you set up and are being born anyway? Yeah, I mean, I have, you know, I have like a collection at home. They get thrown on the computer. You know, there's like a folder on my Mac that has, you know, song. Yeah. And so, some of them are good, and some of them are probably not very good, and you know. But I figure at some point they'll probably change into whatever project I'm working on. But if it's too different, I don't want to do it because I don't understand. I don't really get records that are very disparate. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to do that. I think whenever a person says it's not a concept record, there was still a theme that they were working through when they were writing. You know? Yes, yours is more like a novel, and other people's are more like different stories.
Like a magazine or something. Yeah. Well, that's how I look at it, and yeah, and I like it that way. Sometimes it can be a little rough because it's a commitment to listen to the whole record in one piece. Because at the end you feel like it's been this huge thing, you know. So it can be hard to listen to a lot. Yeah.
Have you ever tried writing fiction? Not like lyrics, but
I've wanted to get into that a little bit, but all the writing that I've done in my life is very research oriented, just with you know, with counseling, with the therapy, and so it's very boring and scientific, and it's the opposite of, you know, entertaining fiction kind of stuff. But I would like to. The thing is, songwriting is such a way of cheating because you're writing stories that are, you know, 4 minutes long, and you don't have to really. In some ways, it's harder because you have to express things very small amount of space and time. But in other ways, it's easy because you only have to get one really good sentence instead of, you know, 200 pages of really good things.
And then you have the music that like strengthens the words.
It can back it up, absolutely.
What is it about music that can make words come off so?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's because how the human brain is wired and how it works, that there's multiple senses, you know, right? We see, we feel, we touch, we hear. And I think the more senses that you touch at the same time, the more powerful the effect. So if you, for example, like if you're watching a movie and the acting is very beautiful, and the what you're looking at, the scenery is very beautiful, and there's a song that comes on that you love, it's hitting all of these different parts of your brain, and you might fall in love with a song that if you heard on the radio, you wouldn't have cared about it at all. So it's the combination. I think it's really just the brain. It's kind of some sort of magic that happens.
And the context in which you're listening to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
You already said that this record is about psychotherapy, and one song is called after a disease or.
Sure. Yeah.
Can you explain what that term means?
The Psychasthenia. It's an old word. You wouldn't. No one would use that anymore. But it was the word they used to use for obsessive compulsive disorder.
and that's some of the songs are very personal on the record, and some are more about people that I've worked with and been close to, and that's a personal one. That's one that I understand very well, and that's just the disease of rumination, of being fixated by certain things and having to perform rituals in order to deal with that anxiety. And you know, like all these diseases too, it's funny. The more you think about them, the more applicable they are to everyone. You know, like not everyone does heroin, but everyone understands addiction. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that one was just I thought it sounded better than obsessive compulsive disorder. You know?